Hi guys, Lori here. I'm here today to do part one of my ALA book haul. I've never been to ALA before. This was the first year that I was lucky enough to be able to attend. I got a ridiculous amount of books. So I'm going to separate this into like categories. I'm going to do one video about YA contemporaries, one video about YA fantasies, one video about middle grade, and maybe another video about random stuff. This is also all the stuff that is currently at my house. I might also do another haul when my rest of my boxes show up. So you might be seeing videos for a while. I just want to let you guys know what is coming out and what reviews you'll possibly be able to see on my channel. But it is a lot of books. I also want to preface this by saying most of these books are for my students. I am a theater teacher and I use a lot of them as prizes. So I go with a wider focus than normal people. Like my friends did not get anywhere amount of books, but I go with the intention of giving these back to my students. So a lot of these books, I got a lot of middle grade books. I like middle grade, but those are the books that I often wind up giving back to my students. So I'm just prefacing this by saying I was able to go to this convention because I'm a theater teacher, and a lot of these books do go back to my school at the end of the day. But I'm going to start with the contemporary reads because that's what I'm focusing my reading on for the month of February. So a lot of these are on my TBR, and I've actually read a couple of them already. So let's dive into that. I'm also going to post my thoughts about ALE in a reading vlog if I can figure out how to upload the footage. But one of the first books that I wanted picking up from Penguin was Verona Comics by Jennifer Dugan. This is the author that wrote Hot Dog Girl, which I was able to read last year. I really liked Comics Will Break Your Heart, and this follows two characters, Jubilee and Ridley, and Jubilee's mom works at a indie comic book store, and Ridley's family owns the biggest comic core stage in the country. Their paths wind up crossing at a comic book convention, and I guess they have a Romeo and Juliet type dynamics between them. I liked Hot Dog Girl. I didn't love it, but I love books about conventions. I'm a convention junkie. I love them. So this one sounds perfect, and this book does come out in April, but I hope to read it this month. The next book that I wanted picking up from Tor was Meet Me at Midnight by Jessica Pennington. This is the third book in her series, like in her companion series. And this one is feuding summer neighbors fall for each other in this charming YA romantic comedy for fans of Morgan Matson. This book you follow Sydney and Asher, and they have had a prank war for their entire lives. They, boat rides, family imposed bonfires, have spent the day finding ways to prank each other. However, during their senior year, when a prank goes horribly wrong, they have to find a way to fix their problems before it ruins their whole summer. And I'm sure maybe romance ensues. This is definitely hate to love, but I really like Jessica Pennington's writing. I really enjoyed Love Song and Other Lies. This one I wound up picking up because it was a physical copy on the table and I like to use it for my Instagram photos. This book does come out in April, but I'm definitely going to try to read it this month. Another contemporary that I wound up picking up was 4 Days of Me and You by Miranda Keneally. This is also from Source Books. It comes out in May. This one is kind of an interesting premise. It basically follows these two characters, Lulu and Alex, and you basically visit them on May 7th every single year for their 4 years of high school. I'm just going to read you guys the blurb. A new swoon-worthy romance from best-selling author Miranda Keneally's following a couple's love story on the same date over 4 years. So it's not a linear storytelling, but it does it basically gives a snapshot of their lives, which I really like. And this book does come out in May, but I would like to read it now. So hopefully I get around to it, and I hope you guys consider picking this up. I did read one book by her in the past that was Catching Jordan, and I really wound up liking this one, so I hope that I like this one as well. Another contemporary book that I wound up picking up was By the Book by Amanda Sellette, and this comes out in May from HMH. And this follows a girl named Mari Porter Malcolm. She is a book lover. She loves to read, and she winds up making a dating guide based on like classic reading like literature, like what to look for in a guy and what guys to avoid. However, when she falls into a relationship with someone she knows is wrong, according to all her lists, she wonders is that really how you go about dating in the 21st century? It just sounds super cute, and I love books about books or reading, so this one seemed right up my alley. Another book that I'm actually in the middle of reading that I just started reading, and this is also from Harper. Oh no, yeah, this is from Harper. It's You Say It First by Katie Cotugno. This is a political themed contemporary about two kids who wind up having an unexpected conversation that kind of leads them to change their own thoughts about their own lives. I'm literally like 40 pages in, so I can't tell you too much about it, but I can tell you that I think that it's a very interesting concept for a YA novel, especially in the year 2020. So this book does come out in June. A little about these books, I will probably tell you. If not, I will probably just show you guys the cover and tell you guys when it's coming out and who it comes out by. But this one is called The Lucky Ones. This comes out in April. It does deal with the aftermath of a school shooting. You follow May and Zach, and May's twin brother was killed in the school shooting, and Zach's mom decides to defend the shooter. But I think that their paths wind up unexpectedly crossing. And it leads to a hard-hitting emotional novel. Sometimes holding on means letting go. I think that this is going to be a very, very emotional read, but also a very, very quick read, and it does come out in April from Penguin. Another convention-themed novel, and this is LGBTQ, which I always look for, is Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. This one is from Source, and it comes out in June. I'm just going to read you guys the blurb because it just sounds funny. When two big-name fans go head-to-head at a convention, love isn't the only thing at stake. When these mortal enemies are stuck together on a cross-country road trip to the biggest fan convention of their lives, their infamous rivalry takes a backseat as their unexpected connection is forged. Yet each has a reason they have to win the upcoming gaming tournament, and neither is willing to let emotion get in the way, even if it means giving up at their one chance something truly magical. This one seems so cute. I actually do like LGBTQ stories. I don't read a whole lot of them, but I love books about cons. So I'm definitely going to add this to my read. If not this month, then definitely closer when I actually go to BEA because I love reading cons around that time. And this one was from Source Books again. This cover is so pretty as well. Another book that I want to picking up from Charles Burge Teen. I don't know what publisher that is, to be honest. Let's see if it tells me. It doesn't tell me. But this is like an adventure story. It's in the air meets the sun is also a star. In this tale of two best friends tested in every way by their attempts to climb Mount Everest. That sounds so cool. I read a book a year ago by Allie Carter that was called like If I Save You First, and it also dealt with like the Alaskan wilderness. I really, really like that, and I love books that deal with like unexpected hobbies. So this book does come out in October 13th. It's actually quite later, but I do like that. I wouldn't mind reading this in the summer for like an adventure story. But yeah, so this one sounds really cool, and I never would have heard about some of these books if I didn't go to ALA. So I'll chat a little bit more about that in my my thoughts. But again, a book I'm really excited for. Another book that I wanted picking up from Underline was Say Yes Summer by Lindsay Roth Cully. This is about a girl named Rachel Brooks, who always has her eye on the prize, always is determined to do what is expected of her. However, the summer before she goes off to college, she kind of decides to kind of just say yes to everything that crosses her path. This is a story about a girl who decides to give into the universe and say yes to rekindle friendships, new experiences, and if she lets her guard down, true love. I love this. I read a book a while ago. It was called I don't remember the name of it. It was like a former Owl Crate book that I really, really loved. I think it's called The Night We Said Yes, and I love that. This one's also super short too. This is maybe not even 250 pages, but it sounds right up my alley. It deals with a lot of like self-discovery, friendship, and romance, and I really hope that I like it. This book comes out in May, but I would hope to read it sooner than that. I know Little Women has been getting a lot of traction recently, but when I saw this on the shelf, I just had to pick it up. It was Joe and Laurie by Margaret Stoll and Miss Melissa De La Cruz, because it was always their story. It just never had the right ending. This is a historical fiction book set in 1869 Concord, Massachusetts, and it follows Joe March and Laurie. And I think it just follows these two girls It says, brings this romantic retelling of Little Women that generations of readers have always wished for, the one in which Jo March must decide whether she can be both a writer and a wife, and whether in giving away her heart she has more to gain than lose. And this is also a book that came from Penguin, and it comes out in June 2020. I don't know a lot about the Little Women story, but I'm willing to give this one a shot. The next book I want to chat about is one that I won in knowing I wanted. It is We Are the Wildcats by Siobhan Vivian. This is the author of the book Stay Sweet that I read 2 years ago, I think. A toxic coach finds himself outplayed by the high school girls on his team in this deeply suspenseful novel which unspools over 24 hours through 6 diverse perspectives. We'll play the first game of their new season. But at tonight's sleepover, the girls are all about forging their bonds, trust, and friendship necessary to win. Everything hinges on the midnight initiation ceremony, a beloved tradition, and the face the girls control until now. When Coach, a handsome former college player revered and feared in equal measure, changes the plan and spins his team in a new adventure, one where they take the rival team's mascot for a joyride, crush a party in their pajamas, and break into high school for the perfect picture. But as the girls step out of their comfort zone to do some long-held secrets, just how far they're willing to go for the team takes them all, especially Coach by surprise. A testament of the strength and resiliency of modern teenage girls, We Are the Wildcats will have readers cheering. That seems really cool. I really did like her Stay Sweet one, and I really hope that I like this one. This comes out in March, but it's about like a field hockey team, and it seems like there's like a little mystery elements. I love mystery elements in my contemporaries, so yeah, this one also did come from Simon & Schuster. The next one that I'm going to chat about is You Don't Live Here by Robin Schneider. In this authentic bisexual coming-of-age story, Robin Schneider delivers it's a witty and heartbreaking tale of first love, second beginnings, and last chances. This is one after an earthquake hit. A girl winds up having to move in with her grandparents, and Sasha, she has to rebuild everything, including herself, and this might be a chance for her to stop being the girl everyone expects and let the girl beneath the surface break through. It also deals with themes such as grief, healing, and affirmative messages about identity. I have quite a few books by Robin Schneider on my Kindle, so if I do like this one, I might be picking up her other books. This book does come out in June from Catherine Teagan, which I believe is from HarperCollins, an imprint. Another book that deals with bisexuality is All the Invisible Things. This is from Bloomsbury. This is a contemporary YA for fans of Becky Albertalli. A girl decided to stop hiding her true identity, even if it means making things more complicated with her childhood best friend. This is about a girl named Betty who winds up moving back to her old town with her dad, and she's kind of dealing with some self-discovery issues, and she winds up reconnecting with her old friend, but things may not be the same for either of them anymore as they try to find their new normal. And this book is by Orlick Collins, and it's from Bloomsbury, and this book does come out in March. This one is another Bloomsbury pick, and it's called The Girl from Nowhere by Tiffany Rosham. And this is Red Sparrow Meets One of Us in Lying, is this action-packed romance film YA about a girl trying to outrun her past. This is about Sophie Henwood, who winds up moving to a new town to kind of escape her past, and she's kind of dealing with that. This is heart-stopping action, breathtaking romance. The cinematic debut features a girl willing to risk everything to save the life that she built for herself. And I think she has to kind of choose between the life that she hopes she has or the life that she ran from. But it seems to have some mystery-based elements, and this comes out in July. So this is quite a bit but in the future, but it does sound like my perfect mix between a contemporary but also with some thriller-based elements as well. Again, I don't know much about that book, but the cover seems cool. Another contemporary book that I wanted picking up was More Than Just a Pretty Face. This is for fans of Becky Albertalli and Jenny Han, a sweetly fun YA rom-com about falling in love, familiar expectations, and becoming a Renaissance man. This book comes out in August, and it's by Sid M. Masbout. I'm probably saying that long. And it seems like it's a really, really cute book. I think it has to do with like a competition and two characters that wind up having an unexpected romance. So this one was one that I was so excited about, and it's called Most Likely by Sarah Watson, who created The Bold Type, which is a TV show that I really, really enjoy. This is an empowering and heartfelt novel about future female presidents' senior year in high school, which I think this is a story of four best friends who have one another's backs through every new love, breakup, stumble, and success, providing that great friendships can help young women achieve anything, even a seat in the Oval Office. This book comes out in March, and boy, am I excited to read this one. I love that TV show, and, well, let's just say a female president seems like a really good idea. And I would like to read a book that made that happen. Another book that I want to picking up from Bloomsbury, oh, this was from Little Brown, by the way, is Being Toffee by Sarah Crescent. And this is a poignant, thought-provoking novel about self-preservation and finding home for War woman Sarah Crescent. And this is about a girl that is running away from her dad. It's also written in verse, which is a book that I don't normally read. But I will admit, I am intrigued enough to pick it up. I like books that deal with, like, abuse. It is written totally in verse. I've never read a book like this before, so I'll be curious if I like it. That will be one that I'll be curious about. And this book does come out July, so I have a little bit for that one. This was another book that everyone at the convention wanted, and it's Betrothed by Kiera Cass. I will admit, I liked the first two selection books. I never wound up finishing the series because I was totally spoiled. But this is a handsome young king. When King James declares his love for Lady Hollis Bright, Hollis is shocked and thrilled. Would-be queen, she's grown up for the king's attention, hoping one day to become queen of Cora, a perfect match. Then Hollis meets a stranger who seems to see right into her heart, or is it? Suddenly the future she wants is one she's never dared to imagine. I really don't know much about this book, but it seems like it's a really, really nice historical fiction novel, probably with elements of the selection, and it's only 300 pages, and this comes out in May. Just to say, this cover is super pretty. Another contemporary book that I wound up picking up from Harper was Love Boat Taipei. This book is coming out like this month, and it's basically follows this girl away from her parents for the first time. Ever Wong is about to have a summer she'll never forget. And this is about a girl who winds up going to Taipei to, like, basically have a summer or a fun summer before she has to follow her family's expectations. I know Alexa from Alexa Love Books really enjoyed this book, and I love books set in different countries because I think you learn a lot about those societies. So this is one that I would add to my TBR probably quicker because it does come out quite fast. And then the last book I'm going to chat about in this little section before I go get my other contemporaries is Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Abertali and Alicia Shazed. This follows Jamie and Maya, and I think that they wind up having an unexpected connection. They're both not having the best day, and their paths wind up crossing, I think. I'm doing a really, really bad job of explaining it, but the back says, a book about the power of love and resistance. So, yeah, those are the primary contemporaries I got that are on my TBR. Quickly, now let me show you the other contemporaries that I wound up picking up at ALA as well. Last couple of pure contemporary books that I wound up picking up from ALA. One was Break the Fall by Jennifer Iscopelli. I cannot say her last name. I know she wrote something else, but this is a gymnastics themed novel. We are going back to the Olympics in the summer of 2020. I'm a big gymnastics fan. I love Simone Biles. I love Morgan Hurd. And I love books that kind of like deal with that. And it sounds awesome. I don't know much about it, but it does come out in February. It's blurred by some of my favorite authors, and it does deal with the women's gymnastics team. I was a big fan of the TV show Make It or Break It back in the day, but this one might be right up my alley, and maybe I'll save it for right around the Olympics. Another book that I wanted picking up was Unscripted by Nicole Rusin. This is from Amulet Books, and this is about a girl named Zelda who really wants to be an improver, wants to be a stand-up comedian, but she winds up going to a summer camp that winds up kind of transforming her life a little bit. So this one sounds really interesting. This comes out in April. I do work as a theater teacher, so books like this I like to give to my kids just to show them what is a possible job in the arts is like. Another book that I wanted picking up from Penguin was The Year After You. For fans of Girls in Pieces and We Are Okay, a richly layered novel about piecing yourself together after loss, the dark, and truths we choose to keep from each other and ourselves. This follows a girl named Cara who is dealing with the aftermath of an accident that took her best friend, G, and she's kind of dealing with the aftermath of it. She really doesn't want to be social, but she has some people that are kind of pushing her to be social. And this is written by Nita D. LaPaz, and this comes out in March. Sounds like definitely an emotional, hard-hitting contemporary that I normally do really like. Another book that I wanted picking up was The Easy Part of Impossible by Sarah Tomp. This is a girl who is a professional swimmer, I think, and her coach is being very, very physically abusive, and she's kind of dealing with the after effects of that, which will definitely make it an emotional read, and this book does come out in April. Another book that I wanted picking up from Penguin was The Feminist Agenda by Jenna Kincaid by Katie Hatler. This comes out in February. And this is just another book that is kind of dealing with the fact of feminism and activism. And hopefully I enjoy it. This was one that I would definitely add to my TBR in a quick fashion. Another book I'm going to chat about is This Is My Brain in Love by I.W. Gregorio. And this is a total new narrative. This Is My Brain in Love is a stunning contemporary romance exploring mental illness, race, and self-acceptance. And I think it's dealing with like two characters who paths end up crossing. It deals with some jobs, some love, and senior year. And then this was one that I was actually really excited about. It's called Kissing Lessons by Sophie Jordan. This comes from HMH. It comes out in June. Sometimes being bad is very, very good. And I think it's about Hayden, who really wants to... I think she's on earning money to sleeve her small chest as far as possible. But when Nerdy and Melanie offers to pay Hayden for lessons instruction, the money is easy. There must be an enter the catch. Evan's older brother, popular around nice guy Nolan Martin, doesn't want his sister's reputation transmitted by his school resident bad girl. But Hayden isn't all she appears, and neither is Nolan, who may seem like a golden boy to the whole world, but has few secrets of his own. The more Nolan meddles in Hayden's lessons with Emmeline, the more these polar opposites clash, and the more sparks fly. Turns out Hayden and Nolan have a few things to teach each other, but only if they're willing to learn. That sounds like a unique contemporary that I'm actually excited to dive into, and this one comes out in June. Look is I think this is more of like a contemporary, but it says, for fans of emergency concepts and We Are Okay, Looks is a story about what present versus who you are and about real intimacy and manufactured intimacy and blurring of the line. Deceptively glamorous, feminist, emotionally unexpected, compelling novel about falling in love, taking ownership of yourself and your whole self in the age of social media. This book comes out in March, and it is from Dial Books. So I'm also going to chat about some of the pure thrillers or historical fiction books that are on my TBR, and then I'm going to wrap up this video. More contemporaries, so they're also in here. Another one is The Edge of Everything by Nora Schilling Carpenter, which comes out in April. And this is a book about two characters, a photographer who's haunted by her past. Both Lena and Sage are keeping secrets that left hidden could cost them everything. Set in the edge of everything explores how friendship can help find ourselves in the goodness in life, even when everything feels broken. And this is from Rip Teens, and it comes out in April. So it seems like a very, very short one. Another book that deals with like contemporary issues, a little bit more hard hitting. But yeah, I hope that I like it. I like books that deal with friendship. Also, the next two are books that my friends told me that I need to pick up. One is In 5 Years by Rebecca Serrell. She also wrote The Dinner List, a striking, powerful love story in which driven young woman learns how to let go and let love in. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So this was one of the only adult books that I wound up grabbing that I wound up keeping for myself. Another book that she wound up recommending is The Companion, a novel by Kate M. Flynn, which comes out in March. And this is Station 11 meets Never Let Me Go in Kate Flynn's mesmerizing genre-defying debut novel. And this is one that deals with like a highly contagious virus, which in our current society is very, very realistic. So it's like, I think it's like a thriller, but it also has to do with, I think this might actually be YA, I'm not sure. But the 16-year-old Lilac is one of the less fortunate, least to a spoiled young girl, her neurotic mother, but when she realizes she's able to divide her commands and she goes off the shackles of servitude and runs away searching for the woman who killed her. That sweeps through San Francisco to Siberia to the very truth of South America. While the story is told from 8 different point of views, some human, some companion. The companion is a novel about what it means to love and what it means to be alive. That sounds really interesting. I don't know much about this book, but my friend said I had to pick it up, so I did. And these are all like the thrillers, I think. One more is like more like a superhero novel, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Cut Off by Adrienne Flannelly. It comes out in August. And this has to do with a reality TV show. And it's four teenagers must confront their greatest fears, their deepest secrets, and each other when they discover they are truly cut off from reality. Sci-fi, mystery, and romance converge in this high-stakes, fast-paced read that will leave you guessing till the very end. And this comes out in August, and it is from HMH. I love when HMH comes to conventions because they have some really unique books that I always wind up enjoying. And then this one is another one from Razorbill, and it's They Wish They Were Us. And this is by Jessica Goodman. This is Gossip Girl meets One of Us is Lying with a dash of the secret history of us and slick taut murder mystery that will have you guessing until the very end. I have no idea what this book's about. No idea. I know it comes out in July. I know it doesn't have a cover. I know it's a mystery. That's all that I know. So I'm really excited for this. This one is another historical fiction book where they Bob meets co-girls in this nonfiction narrative about the little-known female scientists who were critical to the invention of the atomic bomb and the moral implications of their work. This follows Lisa Missa and Irene Jo Curie, Elizabeth Roma and Leon Woods, Elizabeth Graves, and Joan Hinton. And this is, I really enjoyed Hidden Figures and books that are set in, I just love books where women are focused on, even if their stories, they are not the voices you hear the most about. And this one comes out in May. But I also love passing these books on to my kids because I think that they need to see that women throughout history have had more important roles than are currently known. So yeah. Another contemporary book that I'm super excited about is Super Adjacent by Crystal Cesari. And this is dating a superhero hard? Yes, it's nuts. I love Crystal Cesari's writing. I really love her Windy City Magic series. And this has to do with what happens when you wind up dating a superhero and what is the after effects of that. And this comes out in March. So these are the next couple of thrillers that I want to picking up throughout the convention. One is The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wen, who's the best-selling author of Codename Verity. This was a Disney read. And this is facing a seamless, endless war. 15-year-old Louisa wants to fight back. And it's set in 1940. And I think it deals with featuring beloved characters from Codename Verity and The Pearl Thief, as well as a remarkable new voice. This brilliant, breathlessly plotted novel by award-winning Elizabeth Wen is a must-read. So I think this deals with the German crisis and has to do with mystery and historical fiction, which I'm excited about. This one is Chasing Starlight. This is Old Hollywood Fresh Blood, movies, mansions, and murder in the golden age of Hollywood. And I think this is a murder mystery set in Old Hollywood, which sounds awesome. This cover is so pretty, and this came from Tortine. And this one comes out in June 2020. Another mystery novel was The Silence of Her Bones by June Her. In a land where silence and obedience are valued above all else, curiosity can be deadly. This is set in 1800 in Korea. And this is a murder mystery that deals with some friendship elements. I don't know much about it, but it comes out in April. And this was from Macmillan, I think. Another one of James Patterson books is You're Next by Kylie Sennett, which comes out in June. Flora, I Need Your Help, Come Fast. And this deals with a unexpected murder mystery. Flora hasn't really spoken to her since being dumped 8 months ago, but as she doesn't hesitate, gets to Aver, there's time to see her bleed out in a dark alley. Determined to do something, Flora digs deep into the illicit activities of her classmates, uncovering ugly secrets that are hidden for good reason. Revealing Aver's killer may have put Flora at the top of her hit list, but she soon realizes this isn't about seeking justice for one girl, it's about keeping more from getting killed. Riverdale meets Fight Club in this insidious murder mystery that asks, how far would you go for vengeance? That sounds awesome, by the way. I want to read that one. And this was the book that really, I wanted. It's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This comes out in February, so relatively quickly. An unstoppable pull down as addictive and twisting as serial and making a murderer. And it kind of follows this girl named Pip. Pip sees how the tragedy still haunts her town. She's determined to understand why Sal was committed this murder. And I think she winds up realizing it's not all cut. It's not all easy as she thought, and she winds up trying to uncover a murder mystery. So, those are all the books that I'm going to talk about in this video. Sorry if my if I didn't explain all the books very, very well, but there are a lot of books here. But I'm going to be back with my contemporary video probably next week. I mean, my fantasy reads next week. So I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know in the comments what are some books you're most excited to see me review. And I'll talk to you guys later for another video. Bye, guys.